3 days. How do you feel about your team after this series?
You know what? I think we battled. Obviously, we had some adversity today, up by a couple goals, and then we kind of squandered that lead. But they got some real dynamic players out there, and they make it real hard for us. So it's something that we'll have to learn from and get better.
As far as the power play, improvement, I would say that you would probably have seen some of the, as opposed to maybe last week when you said it might have sucked. Do you still feel like it sucks?
Well, I definitely said that, verbatim. I said it sucks. Again, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. So the power play is going good now. There's still obviously a lot of areas to improve on, and it's something that we're going to look at the film. We got the day off tomorrow. We'll be back on Tuesday. We're going to have to take a look at it and continue to find ways to get better, because again, it's not completely turnkey. But again, we do talk a lot about that the power play has to get you 1 goal per game. If you average out 3 to 4 power plays per game, and then you get that 1 goal, again, that gets you to that 25 to 30%. And if you get to that mark, then you're one of the top power plays in the league. Obviously, we still got like a little ways to go on that. And again, there's a lot of like what I would call low-hanging fruit of areas where we can improve on it.
You got Thomas Stewart, who has played forward for you. He's played defense for you, and he rewards you here with the game-winning goal. So what was the incentive to put him out there on the 3-and-3?
Well, do you mean the 3 games in 3?
Sorry, the OT.
Yeah, listen, our job between Mess and myself is to evaluate players and how they're doing on a shift in, shift out, period in, period out, game in, game out, scenario. And when we looked at his body of work during that game, we felt like, he gave us our best chance of winning. And the one thing that we want to be known for here in Bloomington is that, regardless of, whether you're a contracted guy, whether you're on an ECHL deal, whether you're a call-up, whoever is playing is going to play here. And that's something that speaks to the culture that we're trying to build here. And Stewie was having a heck of a game. He had a heck of a weekend. And, we felt like we wanted to reward him with that. And he rewarded us back. So, good on him for doing that.
And it's no surprise to you, and I think the fans are starting to realize this as well, is why Eddie's wearing the C. Off the face-off, he immediately pushed the tempo. The puck never even crossed the red line. So just your thoughts on starting him and him as a leader and what he's meaning to this team right now.
Well, again, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. There was no other captain for our organization. When we went through the recruiting process, and then obviously the little background that I knew of him when I was in Greenville and sort of the relationship that we had built, when I envisioned this team, it wasn't like, oh, there was plan A and plan B. There was no plan B. So, Eddie was the clear choice to be the captain of this team. And, he got off to maybe a little bit of a slow start point-wise, but, I mean, he was making huge impacts in the game. Just the way he takes care of his body, his commitment to craft, his, commitment to just being a pro. I mean, as I said, I'll go on record on saying this. We have the best captain in the ECHL. There's no question about it in my mind.
Well, another building block that you're taking on a game against Iowa. Last time I was here, you came back on them. You forced the OT and the shootout. Here, they do it tonight. So more building blocks against Iowa, but as you take this one, your team bent, but they didn't break, though. I mean, that's got to be a good thing for you.
Yeah, listen, again, when they've got Sop and they've got Hain on the ice, and those guys are just such a handful for our group to contain. And again, like all great players, I thought we did a great job containing them in the first 2 periods, and you're never going to keep those guys off the scoreboard. At least it's very difficult to do, so you want to contain them. And I thought that's the best word that we did, that we were able to contain those 2 guys, and not to take away anything from their team. I mean, they got a heck of a hockey team. They skate really well. They work really, really hard. And it's a big task for us, and we have them 15 or 16 times this year. So we obviously are very intimate and familiar with each other's games, and we're just going to continue to duke this out.
0 shots in that first period. I actually forgot to ask the other 2 interviews about that. Do you take anything away from that?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be honest, and I am very honest. It was inaccurate. We can take that away from it. There was the breakaway where clearly Sink got a blocker on it, and but again, 1 shot, 0 shots. At the end of the day, we're trying to build in pieces into our game that really focus on managing the puck, supporting the puck, putting the puck into good areas, and within that, limiting our scoring chances against. And I think we've really taken some good strides over this weekend to, really try and ingrain those habits into our group. Now, that being said, like, next week's a whole new week, and we gotta continue to reiterate that message and continue to build up on our game.